What's up, everybody? This is the Information Man Show. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. Everybody, thank you for your patience. This is going to be a short live stream. I'm going to get right to the point. I have everything ready to go here. I want to appreciate everybody that's coming to the chat room. We got a lot of great people in the chat room. Last Call, Alicia, Penn, everybody that's here. I appreciate you. If I didn't call you out or didn't see you yet, doesn't mean that I don't respect you. Black Anonymous is in the house. Everybody that's here, another CG. We got Triple A that's in the house. Everybody that's here, thank you for being here. Make sure you share this video. I want to get into it right now. This is something that I don't know how I missed this, but this is something that was reported maybe 2 or 3 days ago. A situation in Houston at what we would call a dollar store. You know how these dollar stores are. And let's put this up here real quick for you. So you had a dollar store, a family dollar store, where there was an incident at a dollar store just like this one right here. Okay. And there was a brother, and I've listened to some of the things he has said. I have some respect for him because you can see that this is a brother who is Afro-Latino, speaks Spanish. He has a mixed heritage. I think his mother is from New Orleans. She is Creole. And his father, I think, may be Cuban. But I'm going to let the news report speak to that for you. Here's the brother right here. What I liked about the things that the brother did say is that he identifies himself as black. So he's not trying to. And he even called out people from the Dominican Republic that are just as black as him that will say, I'm not black, I'm Dominican. He says Dominican is not it's not your ethnicity. So this brother is grounded in understanding. I've heard him talk about the history of Latinos that were put into slavery or black people who came from Africa that were put into slavery. And depending on where we were sent in the diaspora of the world, well, you are going to speak, Spanish. There's no ifs, buts about it. You can't get around it. You can't fake the funk about it. You're going to speak Spanish. Remember, the Portuguese were involved in the slave trade. The English were involved in the slave trade, or the Europeans were involved in the slave trade. Arabs were involved as well. The majority of black people that were moved out of the continent of Africa were moved to Brazil. Only about 4 or 5% of black people who came through that triangular slave trade were dropped off in what we call America, where we are now. So obviously, when you look at black people that live in Cuba or Colombia, black people that are in Brazil who speak both Spanish and Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese to be exact, black people are living all over the diaspora of the world. And so this brother says something that I think was very on point. He says, you got to watch what you say around people and don't assume because a person is black that they don't know Spanish. Even if they're not even from the culture, they might know Spanish. And that's what this brother was saying, because he went into a dollar store and the woman that was there, she was a young lady, Mexican woman, who was saying some things in Spanish that he understood exactly what she was saying. She was making the accusatory of saying that, oh, someone was in the store, they were ordering they were trying to buy some type of shoes. And she said something about how she had to keep the shoes locked up or behind the counter or somewhere in the store because black people are stealing. This brother right here, who you're going to see in a news report that I'm going to play, said that that area where the Dollar Tree store is located at is an area that does have a lot of people that are drug addicts. And he says it's not only black people that can go in the store and steal every now and then, but you've got white folks that go in the store and steal. Right? He says it's a very high drug infested area where people are getting high on drugs. And so you can have white folks in there stealing. You can have Asian folks in there stealing merchandise, just like these white boys here I'm putting up here. and they can go in that store and steal, whether it be a grocery store or what have you. They could be stealing. But a lot of times the stereotype is that black people, that we're the ones that steal, that we're the ones that rob, that we're the ones you can't trust when it comes to buying products in a store. And so this brother was racially in some ways profiled as he was, he was buying his merchandise, and he didn't think, or she didn't think, that he understood Spanish, that he understood exactly what she was saying, that he understood every single word because of his background. And I want to say this to everybody out there. If you look at the history of Latin America and then you look at the history of Mexico, all you got to do is look at how they treat black people that are in their own country. And see, this is the difference with me. This is the difference with me. I can talk about these things and say these things, and then I can show you the documentation of what I'm talking about. So right here, this is an article that any of you all can look up. It's called The Historical African Mexicans Have Faced Discrimination on Multiple Fronts in Mexico to This Day. Many live in regions with low economic conditions and limited access to resources. What am I saying is, it's not a coincidence that you will have people who come from Mexico, people that are Spanish speaking, that may have some kind of something to say about black people, or they may even stereotype black Americans. And it doesn't matter if you're not black American. It doesn't matter if you're like this brother right here. All she saw was his black skin. She had no idea that this man has a heritage that he grew up under, that he knows Spanish. But check this out, everybody. He speaks both Spanish and French fluently because of his mother being Creole in New Orleans and his father's background as a man that, I think his father's from Cuba. I could be wrong, but the news report will flesh that out more for you. I've always said this, and this is why immigration has not been a friend to black people. Immigration impacts black people more than anybody because, unfortunately, you have people who come from South America, whether it be Cuba, Cuba's not in South America, that's in the Caribbean. I'm talking about places like Colombia, Argentina. Even though Argentina, years and years ago, show you how anti-black sentiments are, everybody. The Argentinian government did everything they could to eliminate the black population out of Argentina. Look that one up. When you look at Costa Rica, you look at Central America, South America, you have a lot of black people that live in these countries. I just want to lay out the education here. In Latin America, 134 people identify themselves as Afro-descendants. The reports find that in many countries, disadvantage are stark. For example, in Ecuador, the maternal mortality rate, meaning Afro-Latin women that are giving birth to children, the Afro-descendant women, it triples over the mortality rate. So they have higher levels in which their children do not make it past birth. In Colombia, the rate for Afro-descendant women is 1.8 times higher. In Brazil, it is 36% higher. So you got black Brazilians who, for whatever reason, their babies are not getting to term because they don't get the resources that they need. And everybody, have you forgotten that I did a show that talked about how if you have a black doctor versus a doctor that's non-black, particularly a white doctor versus a black doctor, this has been documented, that you stand a higher chance of surviving serious medical conditions or even childbirth when you are being handled and taken care of and being attended to by a black doctor. You can look those up. I've got the video on this channel. I brought out the stats on this. The same thing is happening in what we call Latin America as it relates to Afro. I'm bringing this up to show you that there is anti-black sentiments towards black Afro-Latinos. So therefore, when these people immigrate to America, there is a high chance, there is a probability chance that some, not all, but some may have anti-black sentiments towards black people. Now, I've said this before. If you are, how you doing? Let me see your transcripts. And don't worry, folks, those of you who love the Umar Johnson content, I've got more coming for you too. I've said this before. You can grow up around people of different races, whether they're Mexican or they're white or whatever race of people. You can grow up around them and maybe have good experiences with the people that you were growing up around, that you have been around. That's not the same for everybody. Everybody's got a different experience. Right here in Uruguay, the proportion of Afro-descendants with limited access to drinking water is 42%. It's almost double that of non-African descendants at 24%. In urban areas in places like Nicaragua, 81% of Afro-descendants have limited access to water compared to 35% of non-Afro descendants. This is done on purpose. What I'm saying to you is, if you've got racism in Mexico, in places like Latin America, in the South American area, that's a continent, of course, then it doesn't surprise me that this young lady, this Mexican girl or woman that was working at this Dollar Tree would talk about black people when the brother said himself that it's not only black people that are going in there stealing every now and then, but you've got white folks that go in the store and steal, Asians, and everybody, because it's a drug addicted area where you're going to have high theft. Okay? Make sure y'all share this in the social media, because you know that I like to give comprehensive programs breakdown. And check this out right here. An example of invisibility faced by Afro-Mexicans. You know, Afro-Mexicans were not recognized in Mexico because of their racism in Mexico, their prejudice, their anti-black sentiments in Mexico. Afro-Mexicans were not even recognized until they were recognized in 2020. Do you hear what I'm saying? Recent census, for the first time in Mexico, had the opportunity to self-identify as Afro-Mexicans in 2020 census, which is a step towards greater visibility and recognition. No, it's not, because they're still being treated very, very poorly. I'm going to put this up again. Afro-Mexicans in the First Nation survey. Check this out, everybody. In the First Nation survey on discrimination in Mexico, commissioned by the government in 2005, according to the Minority Rights Group International, the survey addressed discrimination against 8 different groups in Mexico. Check this out. But made no mention of Afro-Mexicans or discrimination that they experience. This is in Mexico. What am I saying? If they're hating on black people in Mexico, what make you think that some of these folks that come over here don't have or cannot have anti-black sentiments? This is why, if you are a black person living in this country, born here, your family's from here, and you walk into us, that Afro-Latin brother experienced what black folks experience all the time dealing with some of these folks. If you go into that store, he experienced what all of us can experience at any given time when they bring their anti-black sentiments towards black folks in America, because they don't have respect for the Afro-Mexicans, for the black Mexicans in their own country. And then when you go to South America and you go to Central America, you go to places like Brazil, they have no respect for those people who have skin tone like me and you. When you look at Brazil, you notice something about Brazil. The only time they highlight black Brazilian women is during their carnival, because they want the black Brazilian women to get out there and shake the booty and dance and do the samba dances and do all the dancing and have the brothers out there hitting the drums and the music, because the culture of Brazil is black people. The white Brazilians are not the damn culture, and they're not the true face of Brazil. But they only want black people to be seen when they want to exploit us for dance, song, play, music, and have our women out there shaking their booties. Then they come over to America, some of them, I'm not saying all, but some, and they treat us with disdain. Well, let's get into this right now, everybody. I appreciate you. I had to give I had to break down. I've got more. I got more because I'm going to show these videos. I want to put this up here right here. Afro-Mexicans in Mexico face significant challenges, including discrimination, violence, and inequality stemming from historical marginalization and lack of recognition despite the country's multiculturalism, so-called multiculturalism. Here are more details. Look at the situation. Historically context, Mexico has a history of underpaying the role and contributions of black people in the legacy of slavery in the colonies. The colonial areas of racial caste systems have contributed to anti-black racism. Now, the only credit I'll give Mexico is that Mexico did end slavery prior to America ending its slave system, but they still treated people like slaves. Let me give you some history here. Let's break this one down. Until 2015, internal census surveys, Mexico had no official data on the number of Afro-descendants living in the country. In the 2020 census, around 2.5 million people identified as Afro-descendants, accounting for about 2% of the total population. Most of them reside in the states in Mexico. So they've been really doing a number on people who look just like us over there. I had to lay this groundwork so that you can understand why that Latin or Afro-Latin brother got the treatment that he got in that store, where he could hear what she was saying because he's fluent in Spanish, because he has a family background in the language in South American culture, I believe. Let's let you hear this right now. This is a damn shame, okay, what he went through, right? Just going into a store just like anybody else to try to shop and pick up some, some tools. Maybe he had to get some tools. It's really a damn shame, everybody. But we're gonna put it where the ghost can get it and let you hear what the brother was going through. So check this out. Check this out right here, everybody. Peace.
All right. Let me give you a word of advice. Man, you got to watch what you say when you say it. Because this is what I'm saying. Because you don't know who speaks Spanish. Yo soy cubano, ¿me entiendes? Pero yo soy cubano.
Okay.
Y cuando habla la gente negra, estoy hablando de mí también.
I was just saying.
Okay, but I'm just saying, you need to watch what you say.
I was just saying.
Okay, I'm just letting you know, though. When you talk about people, especially black people, man, watch what you're saying. I ain't recording you. I'm recording myself. I'm recording you now. So, you know what? That's what I'm saying. They be talking that shit Spanish, thinking people don't understand their ass. Yo soy cubano. Cuando hablan de mierda de negros, estoy hablando de mí también.
Play that back again. Play that back.
All right.
If I can fix something.
Let me give you a word of advice. Man, you got to watch what you say when you say it. Because this is what I'm saying. Because you don't know who speaks Spanish. Yo soy cubano, ¿me entiendes? Pero yo soy cubano, yo soy cubano. Y cuando habla la gente negra, estoy hablando de mí también.
I was just saying.
Okay, but I'm just saying, you need to watch what you say.
I was just saying.
Okay, I'm just letting you know though. When you talk about people, especially black people, man, watch what you're saying. I ain't recording you. I'm recording myself. I'm recording you now. I'm recording you now. I'm recording you now. So, you know what? That's what I'm saying. They be talking that shit Spanish, thinking people don't understand their ass. Yo soy cubano. Cuando hablando de mierda de negros, estoy hablando de mí también. So when you talk about black folks in Spanish, a bunch of them understand what the fuck you're saying. No, y'all talking that nigga shit Spanish. Yo soy cubano, yo entiendo. Cuando hablas esa mierda de negros, estoy hablando de mí también.
So you see right there what the brother is saying right there. He's saying you're talking that mess, and I can understand everything that you're saying. And he made a good point. You don't underestimate people who can speak Spanish. Now, remember, Spanish is the most spoken language in the world. A lot of people have gone to school and have learned the language, whether they're a part of the culture or not. So you got to watch what you're saying. And he was setting her straight. Let you hear this one more time.
All right. Let me give you a word of advice. Here. Man, you got to watch what you say when you say it. Because this is what I'm saying. Because you don't know who speaks Spanish. Yo soy cubano, ¿me entiendes? Pero yo soy cubano. Y cuando habla la gente negra, estoy hablando de mí también.
I was just saying.
Okay, but I'm just saying, you need to watch what you say.
I was just saying.
Okay, I'm just letting you know though. When you talk about people, especially black people, man, watch what you're saying. I ain't recording you. I'm recording myself. I'm recording you now. I'm recording you now. I'm recording you now. So, you know what? That's what I'm saying. They be talking that shit Spanish, thinking people don't understand their ass. Yo soy cubano. Cuando hablando de mierda de negros, estoy hablando de mí también. So when you talk about black folks in Spanish, a bunch of them understand what the fuck you're saying. No, y'all talking that nigga shit Spanish. Yo soy cubano, yo entiendo. Cuando hablas esa mierda de negros, estoy hablando de mí también.
Wow. So you see there, folks, you see there what the brother is saying? He's telling it like it is. Let me let you hear a news report after that incident took place. Here's a news report right here about it. Check this out.
Deon Chico Young was at the Family Dollar on Laura, Copy, and Jensen Drive when he heard the customer in front of him had a conversation with the woman at the register about some white tenis, which are shoes in Spanish.
When I opened up the box, I put the box behind the counter because she said in Spanish, porque los negros estaban robando. The black people, and I'm gonna say it without being derogatory, but she's saying the black people would be stealing the tennis. But she said it in Spanish in a derogatory way.
Well, the moment became uncomfortable for Chico because his mother's from Houston and Creole, his father's from Cuba. So he speaks English, Spanish, and French fluently and understood the entire conversation.
Man, you got to watch what you say when you say it. Because this is what I'm saying. Because you don't know who speaks Spanish. Yo soy cubano, ¿me entiendes? Pero yo soy cubano.
That video has more than 240,000 views and more than 50,000 likes just on TikTok. The viral video has spread on other social media platforms as well.
Watch what you're saying. Because you see me as a black man and you speak another language don't mean I don't understand what you're saying. And that's my whole thing. Man, watch what you say because you never know who understands you and you'll never know who you offend.
Wow. Did you guys, did you see that, everybody? Did what he say make a lot of sense? Put sevens in the chat room if you see exactly what the brother's talking about. Did it make sense to you? Let me know. Let me play something else. This is something that the brother said that I was sort of like, I was kind of indifferent about it. He basically said she got fired and he didn't want her to get fired, right? And so this is him speaking about it. And I'm having a little problem with my system here. So let me see if I can, damn it. Can I fix this? Why did this do this? Let me see. Anyway, let me just do this. I'll do this. I'll let y'all hear what he had to say off the raw footage. Here we go.
Volcanic here in Houston, Texas, and the surrounding areas. About the incident that happened the other day in Family Dollar. I will say that Family Dollar's head corporate people reached out to me this morning about the situation, and they told me that they would take care of the problem, you know what I'm saying, rid the problem. And I was trying to tell them that I wasn't trying to get the little girl fired. That was not my intention to get her fired, and it's still not my intention to get her fired. My intention was to try to wake her up by having certain conversations, especially at work, about us folks. You know, like the woman told me, she said, you know, black people ain't the only ones steal, white people steal, Mexicans steal. I said, yeah, man, because the stores on the counter, just in Laura Cop in Houston, is full of dope fiends, black, white, and Mexicans. So don't say black people the only one be doing the stealing. And what happened was I was in line, a Mexican lady was in front of me with a little girl buying some tennis shoes, like $4 or $5 tennis shoes. And she had some black ones. She asked the girl in Spanish, what about the white ones? She told her in Spanish, she said the white ones are for boys. She said I opened them up and I had to put it behind the counter because the niggas be stealing them. The black folks be stealing them, put it like that. She said los negros roban. She didn't say la gente roban. If she would have said la gente roban, that means the people steal them. Okay, but she said los negros siempre está robándoles. You know, the niggas, the black people be stealing them, you know what I'm saying? And so the Mexican lady in front of me, she knew I speak Spanish because she heard me talk to somebody on the telephone and had the phone on speaker. So she turns around and looked at me in my face. And then she turns around and she engaged in the conversation with her. Yeah, los negros siempre están robando la cosa. Oye, hay una tienda allá en que estos negros siempre roban la gente. You know, she like, yeah, the niggas, they be able to steal from the store. And I was like, I'm sitting up, I'm biting my tongue, holding myself back to keep from going off. So when the customer burnt off with her racist self, it's the video, you see in the video, I tell the little sister, I said, look, let me give you a word of advice. And you got to watch what you say and how you say it when you say it. And I guess she's snapping. You know, like, did he understand me? So when I told her, yo soy cubano, that means I'm Cuban, you know what I'm saying? Yo soy Latino, Afro-Latino, un criollo, you know what I'm saying? Afro-Latino, Creole, you know what I'm saying? Now she's snapping, oh, this dude understood what I'm saying. Instead of taking in what I was trying to tell her, she was trying to debate the issue to let me know why she said what she said. And like the people at home, like the corporate manager said, she shouldn't even have that conversation. Los negros siempre están robando. The black people, you know, she just said like gente roba, you know, people be stealing. Okay, but she significantly, she picked out and said,
let me know if you all can hear the audio so far.
Los negros siempre están robándoles. Por eso yo puse atrás. The niggas, the black folks, they stealing. That's why I put the stuff in the back.
So she said, according to the brother, that put sevens in the chat room if you could hear that audio that I just played not too long ago. But it seems that this woman said that the Negroes, the niggas, she used that word. And, you know, that word has been a word through history that a lot of us haven't liked. And some of us have embraced in some damn term of endearment, which I don't agree with at all. There ain't nothing in term and endearment of a word that has a historical fact in history that was used to denigrate us as a people, right? Now, is she calling a white boy? Is she calling out the white boys that came in the store? Oh, no. But she says that to a black man because they think that we're not educated, that some of us don't know languages, and some of us are not people that have traveled around the world. Historical Afro-Mexicans have faced discrimination on multiple fronts. I'm saying this because a young lady that did this to him was of Mexican ancestry, and you have the same thing go on in South America, where South Americans are dealing with, black South Americans are dealing with racism. Afro-descendants in Latin America, this is an article that you can look up for yourself. Countries live in starkly unequal conditions that impact their health and their well-being, a PAHO study shows. So when I talk about these things, folks, I don't come without receipts, because you can't go by this, well, I grew up with some people that speak Spanish that were from Mexico or from South America, and they was good to me. They were good to you. You had a great experience, so that's good. But you have to also look at the larger diaspora of the world and how black people are treated in other countries that they grew up in and that they were raised in, and they speak the language, and then understand how some of those folks who treat black people poorly in Latin America and across the spectrum of the diaspora, and then how some of them, when they come to America, let's not be in denial of these facts. When they come to America, how some of them can engage in anti-black sentiments. This is a fact. You can deny it. You can try to get around it. You can't, because I can pull out too much data. Washington, D.C., December 3rd, 2021, the PAHO study, a new study of Afro-descendant populations in 18 Latin American countries, demonstrated that they live with dramatically unequal social and economic conditions that damage health. The Pan American Health Organization, that's what the PAHO is, the Pan American Health Organization, reported today. That was some of the results they came back with. Now, let me read this one here. The study, Health of Afro-Descendant People in Latin America, concluded that in more than 80% of the 18 countries analyzed, Afro-descendants live with a broad range of disadvantages related to poverty and unemployment, like employment, right? Maternal childbirth rates, lack of access to accurate housing. Don't this sound like America? Don't this sound like the same problems that we have here in America too? Housing and basic services such as safe water and sanitation. Now, you may say, oh, Info, come on, man. Black people are not dealing with unsanitary water and things of that nature. Stop it right there. Hold up. Let me put some truth in it. Damn it. Okay?
Tell the truth.
How many of you in the chat room, by putting sevens in the chat room, read an article where this was in Alabama, in the Black Belt, the Rust Belt area of the country, and there was someone from the World Health Organization that went out to the Rust Belts and the Black Belts of Alabama and did a study and said that, oh my God, this particular area in Alabama is just as bad as a third world country. We don't really use that word third world anymore, but you know what I mean. That's what they used to call it back in the day, third world. He said that the conditions in some of these black areas in Alabama, in the Rust Belts and the Black Belt areas, were just as bad as a third world country, where black people were living in conditions where they had raw fecal matter in their water, their sewage was all jacked up, their access to we're talking about in the deep Alabama South. And for truth and statement here, Republicans run the red states. The Republicans run some of the most poorest, the most broke down and out of economic stability than any political party. Now, I'm not saying this to say that the Democrats are any better, because the Democrats run cities where they're getting money, but they don't spend that money to help black people. Look at Chicago. Look at the things that's been happening in Chicago and was happening before Brandon Johnson got there. Look at all the Democratic blue cities, and wherever you find them, you will find poverty. You will find unemployment rates. You will find that it's hard for people to find a place to live. How can the Democrats say that they are the party of family and of values and of helping poor people, yet most of the states that they run, like California, Detroit, all these, Boston, Massachusetts, New York, how is it that they are in charge of some of the most expensive places where there's high homelessness, unemployment, and people can't find affordable places to live even when they got a damn job? And then on the other flip side of that, the Republicans, they're like the slumlords. They run in states, red states, that are poorly ran and are poorly funded. You saw what happened out there in Jacksonville when Deion Sanders had to bring in water. Not Jacksonville, but Jackson. Let me correct myself. Jackson. He was coaching at, Jackson State, but look at what was happening in that state. The conditions, the water problems that was happening. And the governor, you may say, oh, the mayor ran the The governor is Republican, runs the state. So both these political parties screw us over. So I wanted to just break this down in that way to clarify a lot of what I'm saying. Let's get back to what this brother's saying, though.
And I'm just saying, my intention is wanting to get her fired, but like I said, you know, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to say this to people, man, watch what you say, because you never know who understand you. Because we black, y'all must know your history. We was the navigators on the Spanish ships when they discovered the Americas, man. You know, Cuba, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Panama, it's a bunch of us everywhere.
Now, this part of what he said, everybody, I definitely take heed to what he was saying. I thought it was interesting because he was talking about how you had a lot of Africans or black people that were on some of those boats, right? Wasn't it said that when Christopher Columbus came over that he had a black navigator? It was a black. So remember, a lot of your Moors from North Africa, they were navigators. They were Africans that knew how to navigate the seas. So keep this in mind. These other black folks in the diaspora of the world, they have a history dealing with these groups that treat them poorly. Now, I'll say this too. That's why when Afro-Latinos come over to America and are weird towards black Americans, I always find that like crazy, right? Why are you doing this, right? But keep this in mind. There are Afro-Latinos who recognize that they are black. There are some that will say, no, I'm not black. I'm a Dominican. I'm this and that. And this brother's going to talk about how he hates the way Dominicans carry on like that. But I want to play back what he had just said right there, and let's go at it.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to say this to people, man, watch what you say, because you never know who understand you. Because we black, y'all must know your history. We was the navigators on the Spanish ships when they discovered the Americas, man.
So he said that black people were the navigators on the ships when they discovered parts of the world. Now, that's a fact. Now, what he just said there was based in fact, y'all. Let's continue.
You know, Cuba, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Panama, it's a bunch of us everywhere. Criollos, Afro-Latinos, man. Louisiana, all over here, New York. I'm like, man, we black. And I don't give a damn. I'm going to say this in.
I like this part right here when he emphasized the fact that we're black, right? Got the Dollar Tree right there that I just showed. I like the fact that he emphasized the fact that we're black. He's identifying himself as black because a lot of times you have people who come from other parts of the world. They come to America and they'll try to deny that they're black. They want to say, oh, I'm this, I'm not black. But listen how he breaks down that nonsense right here. Check it out.
On the Spanish ships when they discovered the Americas, man. You know, Cuba, Puerto Rico, Colombia, Panama, it's a bunch of us everywhere. Criollos, Afro-Latinos, man. Louisiana, all over here, New York. I'm like, man, we black. And I don't give a damn. I'm going to say this in, especially to the Dominicans always talk about me no black. Man, you black. Dominican ain't a race, it's a...
He said the Dominicans always saying me no black. I've heard this before, everybody. Think that's powerful. What do you all think?
Afro-Latinos, man. Louisiana, all over here, New York. I'm like, man, we black. And I don't give a damn. I'm going to say this in, especially to the Dominicans always talk about me no black. Man, you black. Dominican ain't a race, it's a nationality. And what they're saying...
Boom. Dominican is not a race, it's a nationality. Very interesting what he said. What do you all think about that in the chat room? This is very, very interesting stuff right here.
Especially to the Dominicans always talk about me no black. Man, you black. Dominican ain't a race, it's a nationality. And what they said, man, y'all stay blessed. Because that's what I'm going to do, stay blessed. Get back with you.
All right. There we go, there we go. There we go, everybody. So I kind of like what he said right there, how you broke it down. Now I'm going to play this. I had my system, I had some problems, so I'm just going to show everything raw now because something I forgot to fix to make it all look seamlessly perfect. So we're just going to go with the raw data that I used, or not data, but the raw video footage. Now you saw that video right there. Here's a young man that I saw on TikTok that I thought made a lot of sense in the things that he was saying about this whole situation. that I think made a whole lot of sense, everybody. And let's get at it right now. Check this out. Check it out.
I just saw the video of the black dude in Family Dollar and the Mexican girl trying to talk trash in Spanish, bro. And this should be a wake-up call. If the voting demographics are not enough of a wake-up call, black people are by themselves. I'm telling you this. It is
Tell the truth.
not only a fact, but they show you all of these other communities that cry for us when they need a movement. Asians, you see what they did with affirmative action. You know what I'm saying? You saw how that went. Latinos, we helped you during Black Lives Matter. We know how your abuelas raised you. We're not dumb. We're not dumb. So, I just feel like we're on our own. If you think there is brown and yellow and black unity, the shit does not exist. All of them have conformed. All of them have given up. They all coincide with the white people. I'm sorry. So, and especially, bro, if you find people of another race, if you find Mexicans or Asians or whatever that are actually genuine fucking people,
I appreciate everybody in the
them,
chat
bro.
room.
Cherish them.
Let me do something right here. Let me read something right here, everybody. So let me see your translation says, but there is a black migration back down south to cities for jobs and lower cost of living and affordable housing, which makes the cities more black mayors, some air. I agree with you. Let me see your transcripts. But if you look at most cities, how can I say this? If you look at a lot of cities around the country where you do have black mayors, and I think it's great to have black people in leadership, but you got to have the right black leaders in leadership, because we've got plenty of cities that are run by black people that are black, but black people ain't getting nothing. Chicago is a perfect example. Look at all that money that they were willing to spend on the migrants. But yet you had black people that were living in Chicago that said, look, we got black people homeless. We got black people struggling over here. We got schools that you said you were going to reopen for our kids. And now you want to use them to house migrants who had no business being here. You're doing more for them than you're doing for us. And we are the ones that voted for you. So I think if you got the right leadership, then it can benefit you. If you got the wrong leadership, I feel sorry for you. We've got, please read my comment. Yeah, I read your comment, sister. Good comment. I hope you understood where I was coming from in the statement that I left there for you. Let me continue. Let me see your transcript. Check out our channel. And let's continue with this, because we're going to end this very shortly. And here we go.
There is not that many out there. I promise you, there is 0 to none. There is a very small amount that actually give an actual fuck about you, not just to listen to your music, just not because you're cool to hang around, that actually care about you as a black person. So just stay aware, bro. Just stay aware.
Did y'all hear what the young man was saying?
People of another race, if you find Mexicans or Asians or whatever that are actually genuine fucking people, cherish them, bro. Cherish them, because there is not that many out there. I promise you, there is 0 to none. There is a very small amount that actually give an actual fuck about you, not just to listen to your music, just not because you're cool to hang around, that actually care about you as a black person. So just stay aware, bro. Just stay aware.
So let's stop that there. And let me play this video right here. This is the brother coming out of the Dollar Tree. His name is, if I'm not mistaken, Chico Deon Young. It's obvious that he has been shopping there pretty regularly. Check this out.
Let me tell y'all something, man. I come to this car lot right here, looking at a car. I see the brother, we talking, we chop it up, but I catch a little accent. I said, man, where you from? Dile gente donde tú eres.
Colombia, papa. Estamos aquí en la casa.
And guess what? I just say, us Afro-Latinos, estamos representando.
You know what I say? Yeah,
Los Afro-Latinos estamos representando acá en Houston. Y con eso, sea bendito todo el mundo. Oye, hola suave con suerte. Mi hermano, vaya, hablamos.
All right, here we go. And this is the other one that I was
in
playing.
Houston, Texas, and the surrounding areas. About the incident that happened the other day in Family Dollar. I will say that Family Dollar's head corporate people reached out to me this morning about the situation, and they told me that they would take care of the problem, you know what I'm saying?
Now, I wanted to know before I end this, what do you all think about this? He said he didn't really want to see the girl get fired. He said he basically wanted to teach her a lesson about how you can't you can't start talking about people and think that every black person that you're talking about when doesn't understand Spanish, that you better watch yourself. So he said he really didn't want to see her get fired, but it looks like she got fired, or Dollar Tree fired her. I guess it was bad for business, obviously, bad press that they're getting. And I was doing some looking at Dollar Tree, and it seems like there's been a lot of drama at Dollar Tree. I mean, you got people getting into fights at Dollar Tree. You got people who work there acting weird and crashing out and weirding out. Seems like they've got quite a culture at Dollar Tree of people just actually acting really weird. And I don't know, y'all. I just don't know. What y'all think about this?
People of another race, if you find Mexicans or Asians or whatever that are actually genuine fucking enough
we're
of
by
a
ourselves,
wake-up call, black people are by themselves.
I want to stop right there. I want to emphasize that, because I do think that in a lot of ways that we are by ourselves. When something happens to us, we're usually the main ones standing up for ourselves, right? So we have to continue to stay on code, do for self, okay? Like he said, if you meet someone that treats you decently and they're of another race, that's cool. But just keep in mind, there are people who do come over here and they do bring their anti-sentiments with them, anti-black sentiments with them when it comes to dealing with black people. And you say to yourself, well, why do they feel this way? All you have to do is look at what's going on in their own country when it comes to how they deal with people who look like me and you. And this is not being a hater. This is just simple. It's just a simple facts. Okay. Simple facts based on the data that's available to us that makes it a fact. Now, once again, Afro-Latinos lack of recognition. While the term Afro-Mexican was added to the Constitution in 2019, it wasn't even a part of their Constitution until 2019, and then they weren't even recognized as Afro-Mexicans until 2020. 2019, many Mexicans still consider themselves mixtas, mixed race, or they saw themselves as mixed race, and many not recognized the distinction of Afro-Mexican identity, culture, or Rocha. There is tendency to marginalize, to ghettoize black culture in Mexico, disconnecting it from the border culture traditions. Afro-Mexican activists, Afro-Mexican communities are actively working to gain recognition and fight for their rights, including through grassroots organizations and movements, just like we got going on over here in America. Okay. The coastal area, the coastal regions where Afro-Mexican communities are concentrated, y'all, face challenges like isolation, lack of infrastructure. Don't we have the same problems here? And limited economic opportunities. I just wanted to break a little bit of that down because I like to come with the receipts, right? We live in a context system of racism against Afro-descendants, said Costa Rica first Vice President Campbell Barr during a lunch event. He said, by systematic, I mean that it is enclosed within the political, economic, social, and cultural systems that as a result of health is incorporated in the reality of racial exclusion of Afro-descendants people and of course, the indigenous peoples. I'm breaking that down for you, or I'm breaking that up because in my opinion, in my opinion, this is why I believe that the Spanish-speaking woman at the Dollar Tree who was Mexican, they were in Houston, Texas, where this was at, and you do have a large Mexican population over there in Texas, that this is learned behavior. There's anti-black sentiments because they have stereotypes or they have an anti-black sentiment towards black people in America. I didn't say all, I say some, okay? Not all, but some have anti-black sentiments, and you have to understand where this comes from. Even if that young lady was born in America and can speak Spanish and her parents came over from Mexico, where you think she learns this from? Because the Mexicans that come over from Mexico that feel this kind of negative wave towards black people, not all, but some that feel this way, they got it from their country. They have no respect for black Mexicans. In South America, they have no respect for black Cubans. South America, we have Colombia, because Cuba is in the Caribbean area, right? That shares an island with the Dominican Republic, right? But still, all part of Latin America, and even in Cuba, you have the same situation that goes on in Cuba. Dominican, you had the same situation that goes on in Dominican, where the dark Dominicans get treated differently, which is why I don't understand why when some of them come to America, they want to say, I'm Dominican. It's almost as if they think by identifying themselves as that makes them different and more special, that they're going to get treated differently. I don't know. I got my man, last call, who says, peace and respect, information man. Tell the truth. Tell the truth, brother. Thank you for the
Tell the truth.
Thank you for the $10 super chat. I really appreciate that. We're going to get ready to end this and get on out of here. But I hope that you all got something out of this, everybody. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate that. These are all the social medias that you can catch me on right there. And I'm on X, or it's Twitter. I'm on Facebook as well, Instagram as well, under the same moniker and name of Information Man. Check me out. I will be dropping some new content on the podcast, the radio style podcast that you can find under Information Man Speaks Podcast, under listen on Spotify, and as well on Spreaker Podcast and all the other podcasts out there where I'm putting audio content, which is different from the video content. There's old content on there right now. I'm going to be loading up new content on there. I might even do a new podcast on there tonight. So you'll have some new audio content, and I'll touch on a particular issue. Another thing I want to let you guys know, I'm embarking on a new channel. And you say, wow, man, you got too many channels, man. How are you going to manage all these channels? Well, the channel that I'm revoking is a channel that I already have up. It was a channel that was called News Shorts. I've changed the name to Truth Media Studio. This is the caviar, okay? It will be nothing but uploaded videos. The videos will only be 9, 8, and 7 minutes long. That's how I can put up the content. It's going to be short content. It's going to be raw, uncut, meaning what? No microphone, just me talking to the camera, me expressing my thoughts about certain things that are going on in the world, whatever subject it may be, but giving you my raw, unedited feelings, thoughts, observations about anything that's going on in the world. And those videos will be 9 to 8 to 7 minutes long. So check out Truth Media Studio. And what I'm going to do over there will be different than over here, because it will be raw, uncut, and the videos are only going to be 9 to 7 minutes long. And I plan to drop videos on that channel almost every day, if not every other day, because the videos are going to be short videos, which means it's going to accumulate lots of content that you can get into and get out of very quickly. It won't take up an hour of your time. It won't take up 30 minutes of your time, 40 minutes, only 9 to 8 to 7 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, 12 at the very most. That's the Truth Media Studio channel. It used to be called YouTube Shorts, News Shorts. It used to be called the News Shorts channel. I've changed the name. I've changed the format. And those videos will all be only uploaded videos. Won't be any live streaming on that channel, just uploads. I'll be talking about anything in a raw and uncut fashion. Everybody out there, thank you again. I'll give you a clap. Share the video. Cut and unraw. You'll see this style of what I'm going to do on that channel that's different from anything. And again, I got to repeat this because people are going to say, man, you got too many channels, man. What are you doing? Make up your mind. It'll be better because the videos are short. And I can produce videos because nothing fancy. There won't be any fancy graphics, no fancy, all that fancy stuff. Just me on the camera talking for 9 to 7, 8 minutes about a particular subject matter. You know, I might put up, I might throw up some pictures of what I'm talking about. I may throw up some stats about what I'm talking about, something like that. But it won't be this over the top production, but it will be effective in the way it'll be a production to a certain degree, but it'll be more to the point, just saying how things are real. Boom. With that said, everybody, thank you again. I'm going to hit this again. I'm promoting the channel. I hope that you guys got something out of this. Let me know by putting 7s in the chat room if you got something out of this whole situation. Excuse me for some of my technical problems I had. I noticed that my scenes that I had set up properly, I clicked into something wrong and it messed up a couple of my scenes. So I had to go raw with some of the stuff that I put up. But you guys know how I get down over here. You guys understand how I get down over here. I like to have a very good production with the video content that I put out. But with that said, man, let's hear it one more time. Raw and uncut. And while we get on out of here. Thank you. Tell somebody that you love them. And I appreciate you all, everybody. Thank you.
All right. Let me give you a word of advice. Man, you got to watch what you say when you say it. Because this is what I'm saying. Because you don't know who speaks Spanish. Yo soy cubano, ¿me entiendes? Pero yo soy cubano. Y cuando habla la gente negra, estoy hablando de mí también.
I was just saying.
Okay, but I'm just saying, you need to watch what you say.
I was just saying.
Okay, I'm just letting you know, though. When you talk about people, especially black people, man, watch what you're saying. I ain't recording you. I'm recording myself. I'm recording you now. I'm recording you now. So, you know what? That's what I'm saying. They be talking that shit Spanish, thinking people don't understand their ass.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, everybody that showed up today. I appreciate you all.
A bunch of them understand what the fuck you're saying. No, y'all talking that nigga shit Spanish. Yo soy cubano, yo entiendo. Cuando hablas esa mierda de negro, está hablando de mí también.
I got to stop it right now. Did y'all hear how that brother said, I caught y'all. Y'all was talking that nigga shit. Woo, everybody. Take care. Peace. It's crazy, y'all. And I'm going to keep uploaded videos on the channel. If y'all like the uploaded videos I've been putting out, we're going to keep that going too. Peace, everybody. Have a good night. Let me read this, everybody. I think this is important. I did not read this particular one, and this is the one that definitely I need to read here. And let me do this. Afro-Mexican communities also face limited access to education, healthcare, and even the internet. In 2020, for example, over 83,000 Afro-descendants between the ages of 3 and 17 across Mexico were not attending school. This is a damn shame. Afro-Mexican women face distinct forms of discrimination. They talked about how a lot of Afro-Latino women deal with a lot of discrimination, y'all. For the ladies in the chat room that are listening, this is crazy. Afro-Mexican women are hypersexualized. Well, black women in America are hypersexualized as well. Okay? They must listen to all kinds of comments about their bodies. Same thing that black women deal with here in America. See the parallels here? I know students that were not granted a place in the university. I know teachers who have suffered discrimination at school where they work. Or if a black woman goes to a health center, it happens that they refuse to provide her with a healthy care. This is crazy, y'all. Take care, everybody. It's enough to make you mad. You're absolutely right. Let me see your transcripts. You say that sounds like that would have happened here back in the 1950s and 60s, but they are experiencing this in 2020. Yes. And so if this is going on in Latin America, Mexico, and even Central America, and even places like Dominican Republic and Cuba, we cannot sit up here and think. Okay? I'm gonna put myself back on the screen. We not over yet. Show ain't over yet. Let me just say this right quick to y'all. We cannot think that this situation can't affect us in America, because if a certain percentage of these folks come over from these countries into America, they're not going to just come to America and all of a sudden all their racism, all their anti-black sentiments just go away. Now, for the record, I'm not saying that this is everyone from South America or Central America or the Caribbean or any of these places, that they're all going to come over and they all have the same sentiments, right? They all have the same. No, I'm talking about the ones that will come over and do come over that bring their racism with them, not the ones that don't. And then when a black American or even someone who's Afro-Latin, like Mr. Chico Young, who, by the way, folks, he speaks French fluently. Someone like him who does speak Spanish, think about how many of us who don't know how to speak Spanish, and we've gone in a store and we don't even know that they were talking about us like that because we don't speak Spanish. That's the irony of this whole thing, that he speaks Spanish. He understands the language. But how many of us go into these stores and don't even know that they're calling us a monkey or something of that nature? I didn't say all, but I'm saying there are some that certainly engage in this behavior towards us. And then we wonder why there's these incidents like this that happen. And this is why I'm going to say again, I don't care how anybody feels about this. This is why I must say that there is no true black and brown coalition because we don't even, as two different groups, address this issue in its proper way. All you got to do is go to LA. Remember I did a story some years ago about how there were black people being bombed out of their homes in the project area. It was in an area of South Central LA. Baldwin, it was called, what was the name of it? If anybody knows the name of that community in LA, I just can't think. There was a neighborhood or neighborhoods in LA where you had gang members that were trying to take over territory, and they went into an area, a housing project area where mostly black people lived, and they were throwing multi cocktails through their window trying to bomb them out of the community because they wanted to control the territory. And I know from my professional background that Mexico has had, or the Mexican mafia, for example, has had a green light on trying to take control of territories that black people live in those areas of LA, to get control of them because of the drug trade. And I know for a fact that there's been sentiments amongst people in Mexico that feel that California is Mexico. Texas is Mexico because at one point in time it was part of Mexico, right? That they see it as we're just getting back what's ours. So I'm going to say it again. I'm not saying it's all people from these different cultures that hate on us, but there are certainly some that do. And that brother, Chico Young, experienced exactly what many of us may experience and don't even know we're experiencing it because they may be speaking Spanish and we don't know what they're saying. Now, I'm not saying this to say that every time you go in a store and someone that speaks Spanish to be paranoid and think that they're talking about you, but I want you to also at the same time realize they could be talking about you, even though not everybody's talking about you. Now, that may sound paranoid in the sense of what I just said, but just keep this in mind. If he had never known the language of Spanish, he would have never known that that woman was in there calling him out of his name, calling him an N-word, saying that he's a Negro and that he's going to steal from the store or those like him. Because I'm pretty sure if he didn't understand Spanish, she would have continued to elaborate on her racism and her stereotyping of black people. And that brother already said that in that neighborhood, there were drug addicts. So that probably the drug addicts that come in the store and steal are black drug addicts, white drug addicts, right? Asian drug addicts. There's all types of drug addicts that drugs don't discriminate. Anybody can be a drug addict of any race and creed. You see. Well, with that said, everybody, thank you again. That's the bonus coverage. Take care, everybody. Peace. Omega Dreads, you're right. I agree with that statement that you put in the chat room. Take care, everybody. This is my final goodbye. Take care. Peace. RY, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. The area where the black family was bombed out of was Baldwin Heights. Thank you. It was, wait a minute, more bonus coverage coming y'all way. I got to read this. This is important because RY did me a favor because I just couldn't remember this. And I did the article about this a long time ago. She says the area where the black family was bombed out of was Baldwin Heights. Ramona Gardens Projects. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Clap to you.
Thank you for the super chat.
I really appreciate you. Antonio, thank you. Let me see your transcript. RY, last call. DoorDash Revolution, good to see you, brother. Patience is in the house. Okay, Omega Dreads came in and said something that I agree with. Alicia, who's been rocking with me a long time, like many of you. Sister Matthews is in the house. Thank you for being here, sister. Everybody have a great rest of your weekend days, your Sunday. And remember, everybody, I'm dropping short, uploaded premiere videos throughout the week before I go live on Sundays on a variety of different subject matters. I've got some more good stuff coming your way. We're just touching the tip of the iceberg. I'm doing something that I have not done on this channel consistently, that should have done. And if I would have done these more uploaded videos like I've been doing lately, I'm not being, don't get me wrong, everybody. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. My channel would be bigger than it is now. Going live just on Sundays does not get it. You have to keep content through the algorithms. Once you're catching hold of the algorithms, you have to keep it going. And through that, you also grow the channel and you become more discoverable for people to find your channel. So that's another reason why I'm also doing the content and uploading videos, getting myself in the algorithms as well as picking subject matters that will stimulate good conversation and everything of that nature. So that's what I'm doing here with that. Something that I should have done a long time ago that I have failed to do. And remember, make sure you check out, if you have not subscribe to the Truth Media Studio channel. That used to be the News Shorts channel. I will be doing raw, uncut content. I'm going to say it again. Raw, uncut content that will be only 8 minutes long, 7 minutes long, 5 minutes long, 10 minutes, maybe 12 at the most, maybe 16 if necessary, but short. Nothing 30 minutes, nothing an hour, nothing 2 hours. Content that's short that you can get into, check it out, and now you can move on with your day, with other things that you're doing. But it's content that's coming your way that I plan to drop, if not every day, every other day. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Peace. Peace. A Dark Titan. Watch the replay, my brother. Thank you for coming over. I appreciate your support. Watch the replay. And also keep in mind that I'm also going to be doing uploaded videos as well. That will be premiere videos. Make sure y'all keep an eye on that. So everybody listening, I would say if you're not getting the notifications, because you know YouTube messes with our channels, go look at my channel as much as you possibly can to see if I got a new video coming. And I always put the new video, I make it the front and center video that's coming next. You'll see it. Thank you.
Information is power.